Greetings, everyone, and welcome once again to Geekanomicon. Tonight, or rather today, or morning, whenever you're watching this, we're continuing our little tradition this week of looking at several things geektastic with regards to vampires. As you can tell, there is a game in front of my camera at the moment. It is one of my all-time favorite video game series, Legacy of Kain. Now, this game was created by Silicon Knights and published by Crystal Dynamics. When it came time for sequels, however, a lawsuit came up between the two companies. To make a long story short, Crystal Dynamics settled, and 4 sequels emerged, all breaking from the overhead Zelda-type feel belonging to the first game, which you see in front of you right now. The follow-ups focused at first on a fallen vampire of Kain's court, Raziel. Seemingly, Kain detests that Raziel has seemingly surpassed him in vampire evolution by sprouting wings. Because of this, Kain shreds Raziel's wings in a fit of rage and leaves him for dead. However, the Elder God, a being Lovecraft would be proud of, returns Raziel to life as a devourer of souls. Throughout Raziel's adventures in his first game, self-titled Soul Reaver, he finds the legendary sword, which you see Kain holding, and makes it a part of himself. The result is a tale that entwines both Raziel, Kain, the mythical blade, and time travel. Knowing all that, it comes down to why this game was so cool and why it resonates still today. People are yearning for sequels or even a remake now. My feel on this is that, number one, the original game played a lot like Zelda, but with a very dark edge to it. It was overhead, and you unlock new areas as you get new abilities and new equipment, just like you did in Zelda. In essence, it's Darksiders before Darksiders ever came into fruition. Also, the cinematics throughout the game are actually, it's one of the first games where you actually had cinematic after cinematic after cinematic when you came through certain areas of the game. Voice acting was stellar. You had Simon Templeman, who's also sort of a bit player in Hollywood, but he does guest star roles on television, movies, and his fair share of voice acting, but he remained Kain throughout all 5 games. Michael Bell, who did the voice of Raziel. Michael Bell is very familiar to most of us because he did the voice of Duke in the original G.I. Joe cartoon series. And there's the immortal Tony Jay, who has passed on, whose evil connotations can be heard as the Elder God. Another key factor of the series was music. Again, like Zelda, the music in Legacy of Kain resonates with each event. There's not one moment throughout the entire franchise where the music doesn't play with the themes and what's going on. However, sadly, none of the music has been formally released. Now, there is one thing here with the series that is kind of a hit and miss with the people who played it. One thing that I feel in this instance was better suited for this game series. However, I can see the arguments on the other side. That being storytelling over gameplay. In essence, some of the later games were far easier than the original games. and this got to the point where you had this whole people on one side saying, "Oh, but at least we got to experience the story," versus the people who wanted a challenge to go along with the story. It's basically a form of this is Azura's wrath for Azura's wrath. Myself, I liked being able to get through the game without having to really break a sweat. But I do agree, if you're going to do that, have a cinematic mode that's basically easy mode so people can get through it, but leave the challenge mode and maybe a little bit elongated ending for those that want to go through the challenge mode. In closing, there are currently rumors that there is a revival on the horizon. Let's hope it happens, because this classic series has yet to surface on the current consoles. Unless you count both main characters as downloadable in Tomb Raider Guardian of Light. Yeah, they were playable characters with their own storylines in Tomb Raider Guardian of Light. Now, I know this was a little bit shorter than my introductory video yesterday, but that's basically, we want to keep these under 10 minutes. So I will leave this with saying that tomorrow we will be doing yet another vampire hunter. That's because we're going to focus on a comic book character, this being Blade. Until then, I will see you all in the near future, and thank you for watching.